All right, call the meeting to order. Please join me in a pledge of allegiance to the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Make the motion to come out of executive session. So moved. Second. Motion to vote on HA 20262 for 549. All in favor?
We did a motion in a second.
Oh,
He
yeah.
motioned, I'll second.
Okay.
He's trying to hurry this meeting along.
Something on TV tonight.
Yeah, State of the Union. Oh, I gotta make a motion, to come out of executive session. We already did that, right? All in favor to come out? We did
Yeah, we
that?
did it.
Did that.
Okay, HA 2026-2 549, all in favor.
We did that.
Okay. Make a motion for HA 20263 for 475.
Second.
All in favor? Good. Am I good now?
Dinner,
You're
you,
good.
I mean,
Ruben.
Ruben, you good?
Yes.
2 times?
So. This side.
Any adjustments to the
I
agenda?
muted the audio.
Ruben wants an adjustment to the agenda.
So I have 2 adjustments. One is the solar array. We'll talk about a report with some repairs.
So that'll be a new business?
Yeah, under 10.3. And then under 10.4, we had one about sand.
About what?
Sand. Like
Sand bids.
Oh, sand bids. Gotcha.
So right now it's muted. So they talk a little here, so when it comes time for the conversation about the.
Can you guys hear us okay? Can you guys hear us?
So they're muted, so they talk right now.
She said
Just barely.
Oh,
Yeah, the audio is not great.
Can't read lips.
Not that far away. Let's see.
We got you now.
how about now?
Can somebody say something to
Can
them?
you hear me
Can
now?
you hear us now? Can you hear us?
We can hear you, but we're gonna really have to listen closely.
Volume on their own computer.
And we have our volume up to the full bore.
Microphones down.
Okay.
Technology.
Is the audio on your computer set up?
Yeah, they turned it up.
Yes, it is.
Someone unplug
That's
your
a
wire.
little
Because we
better.
can't hear you very well either.
That's because that speaker is muted, that's why you can't hear them.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it is.
Our system is at 100% for audio.
You guys are okay, I'm fixing something on this end.
Unacceptable.
Mike, how you doing over there?
I'm doing fine.
Can you guys hear Mike?
Hello, hello.
We can't hear them.
His microphone's
There.
muted.
Can you guys hear us now? Francesco, you're muted.
Francesca, you're on
He
mute.
can hear us. He said yes. We can hear you, Francesco. Unmute.
That's.
There he is, there he is.
I even tested the
Can
Sorry.
you hear us?
Yes.
Yes, we
yes.
can.
Okay.
That's a
Okay,
lot
good.
better. That's a lot
Perfect.
better.
Thank
Okay,
you.
great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's all Ruben, he fixed it.
Fixed is a grandiose term, but
Well,
better than what?
Any other adjustments?
let's wait for the hand.
That's all I had. No, sir.
Motion to approve those adjustments.
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Presentations, there are none. Public hearing, none. Citizen comments.
Okay.
Way to go, Rebecca.
What?
Way to go.
I'm here in two roles. For first is as a citizen, and I want to give a huge shout out to Public Works, who's been this winter with a lot of snow. They're so efficient, so self-effacing. It's no fuss, no muss, bada bing, bada bang. It just happens, and they do it so well. And there is so much humility and modesty for the amount of talent and skill that they give us all. And I just have huge vote of thanks to Public Works, and I hope they get to hear this wherever they are. Okay.
Sleeping.
Good, Will's listening. Will's always listening.
Okay, well, okay, and my second role is as a lion. On March 7th, which is Saturday, from 11:30 to 2:00, the Lions are having a chowder chili lunch. And I'm cooking a ton of chowders, different chowders. The food will be good. And then I'm making, and Pam Edwards is making million pies. And it's to raise money for the emergency heating fund. And I have a secret goal of 200 people, and well, it's no longer secret. I have a public goal of 200 people and $2,000. Anyway, one can hope, one can really go for it. Please let everyone in your circle know about it. And if anybody wants to cook or bring something, I would love that. And I can be reached at 917-873-8729. And my phone number's everywhere, but it's also on posters around town.
What time is that, Rebecca?
11:30 to 2:00.
Location?
Thank you, Becky.
Yeah.
Safe Harbor.
Okay.
And Pastor Doug Wood has been incredibly generous, and it's a lovely space and nice and airy. Please come, bring friends, bring family, bring people. Oh, and it's Give With Your Heart, so it's free. So if you also know hungry people who could use a meal, let them know too. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Select board comments. Mike? I've just got something kind of short and sweet. As we all know, next week we start kicking off our budget season. So the town manager is going to talk a little bit about that in a second. I wanted to talk to select board about this real quick. We've got, as most know, the RSU has a lot of activity going on in the school district. And I would like to propose that we send a formal invitation to our 5 members that represent Waldoboro about our budget meetings. Maybe they can come in and give us a quick abbreviated version of what this bond, which is gonna be excess of 20 million, right? Beth?
27.
27, I don't know the exact number, I knew it was excess of 20. If we can get a synopsis of that to not only the select board, but also the budget committee, because we have to keep that in mind when we're doing our budget for next year is we're gonna have this bond we're gonna have to deal with, as well as the regular school budget and the county budget.
The superintendent is coming tomorrow, to meet with Pam and I about, Pam had requested information for the voter's guide. So we'll ask him for that tomorrow.
The interim coming in,
Yes.
Yeah. maybe we can get them to come and present during our budgets to the budget committee and the select board. Better to hear from their mouth than mine, because I'm not well versed enough, but I've watched all the meetings and gone to the meetings. Thanks, that's all I have.
It is the most wonderful time of the year and our budget meetings are starting. And just for those who are listening, who might want to come, March 2nd is our first meeting, and that's when the budget will be submitted to the joint meeting of the select board and the budget committee. We then have budget meetings on the 5th, the 9th, the 11th, the 17th, the 26th, and the 31st. So we are extremely excited about the budget this year. Hopefully people will turn out and tune in to hear what we have to say. So we are excited about that. I also would like to extend a big thank you to our Public Works Department. They have worked every weekend but one this winter and every holiday since November, with the exception of one. So they are home right now, hopefully sleeping after the blizzard that was a little overdone. I did want to just bring up something we got.
Another one tomorrow.
And another one tomorrow.
Oh.
Small, but just enough to be a pain. We got our 2025 data for our police calls, and I just wanted to just give you a little taste of, we had our police department had 10,640 calls last year. Based on the data, roughly 30% of the 10,640 calls were interaction calls. They were calls that we initiated. So that says a lot about our department. There were the most, the biggest call number, motor vehicle stops, because I always like to point this out because everybody says when they're speeding on their street that they never see a police officer. You had 1,916 opportunities to see a police officer. 563 traffic control calls, 290 animal complaints, 238 suspicious activity, and 235 mental health calls. Property checks, 3,210. Community policing, 226. Medical emergencies, 237. Domestic disturbances, 68. Assault and burglary, 24. And 1 homicide. And I'll put the full results on our website, but the vast majority of police interactions are non-emergency and they are proactive in nature. So I just thought those were some interesting statistics to share with you. And that's all I have this evening.
Make a motion to approve the consent calendar.
So moved. Second?
Any discussion? All in favor? 5. New business 10.1 CMP new pole placement application on Fowler's Corner Road. As recommended by Public Works.
Yes, we had a request.
Details on that. I got the application in here.
You have exactly what I have.
We have, yeah. It was requested by CMP. And they Will went out and looked at it and he said it was good where it was within the right of way. The proposed location.
Is this for a new service or is it,
I know a little bit about this. And that if it wasn't this resident, it was one of the residents on that road. This needs to be done in part. So fiber can get to some of those homes.
It says Central Maine Power and CCI of Maine doing business as Fidium.
That's why I am.
So there's probably a pole that was too short or not in good enough condition to take whatever new stuff to get the bulk to it.
Correct.
Make a motion to approve.
second?
Move to second, any discussion? All in favor? 10.2 shellfish rate discussion. I think Abden's got the cog on that one.
I don't have the numbers in front of me. But I don't know if you wrote them down, we still had them
I have them.
in our budget. We haven't gone up in 8 years on our license fees. We've been pretty good at it, but our funds are starting to get low with the rates of the position of the shellfish warden and other things. So we've determined we're gonna cut potentially five resident licenses. The last 2 years, we've had less. This year, we still actually have like 21 or 22 left over. We had 20 or 21 last year left over. So that hurts our budget because we don't sell those licenses, and that's $4,000 to $5,000 right there out of a budget that we haven't had. So we, I believe we're gonna put them up $47
Correct. Each license.
each for.
Pretty cheap.
It's very cheap. Considering I pay $670 in Thomaston and $550 in Friendship. And ours are 240, 250, be too close to 250, so. But yeah, that's what we've done. We've made a suggestion of reducing 5 licenses and resident and 1 non-resident.
So it's $47 with the exception of the out of town licenses that go up
Be one.
1.5 times, which would be $70.
Yep. And we haven't been adhering to our ordinance as far as our conservation time. We've only been charging $12.75. We're supposed to be at minimum wage at the federal level, at minimum wage. So we're moving that from $12.75 to $15.25. So conservation costs a little more as well.
So in a nutshell, for those that don't know, that conservation, if they choose not to actually go out there and do
Correct.
conservation.
They can buy that.
They can buy their
6 hours.
time
Yep.
at the higher rate now.
Yes.
Versus what they were paying.
Right, or they can go do the conservation.
And get paid.
Shoreline cleanup, and that reduces that down. They can do their 6 hours and not have to pay a thing.
And one of the things that our shellfish warden pointed out is that there are less participants participating in the shoreline cleanup because they're paying for their conservation time. So that potentially a raise in the conservation time fee may force people, encourage them to
18 bucks.
do more. But some people,
Yeah.
that would be a lot too.
Yeah.
So, they may say, hey, if it's going up $47, I'll pay it there, but I'll do my conservation time in hours.
But the thing is, like I said, we haven't gone up in 8 years, which is pretty remarkable when everyone else around us is jacking their prices up just to cover their own budgets, so.
How many licenses do we have now?
We'll be technically 132 resident right now, could be down to 127. And we got 17 non-resident, which were over our 10%, which has been fine. We've dealt with it, but we'd like to cut 1 license.
You don't have any problems selling the non-resident?
No. No,
Okay.
we actually,
We just had
last year, I
problem.
think we had 2 left over, which were new people, but one of them passed away, so.
So we just have a problem getting new diggers in town.
Yes, yes. I think there'll be a spike in that in the next year or 2, from what I've heard downriver. There's a lot of seed in the river. If it survives, these cold winters help. Because it knocks back the predators, so.
Yeah.
So it would be a $47 increase per license,
for a resident,
per resident, and $70.50
for a non.
for a non-resident.
Yep.
So you guys just have to vote on that tonight.
And the conservation time increase.
Well, the conservation
It's already
time
in the
increase
ordinance.
is automatic.
Okay,
Right, we just haven't adjusted it.
Do we need-
$70.50?
Yes.
do we need to include in that motion the change in the number of licenses available, or that has nothing to do with us?
That has to do with my understanding of that is that has to do with the shellfish
So
conservation.
we're
And
just
it has to
approving
be
the
approved.
dollar.
You're
amount.
just approving the dollar.
Right, yeah, that stuff,
Has
the
to go
numbers
through
have
the
to go to
state.
the Department,
Okay,
Marine Resources, and they approve it or
all right,
question it.
So it'd be $70.50
and $47, all right. I make a motion that we accept the increase in fee of $47 for a resident, $70.50 for a non-resident, as recommended by the Shellfish Committee.
Second,
Any more discussion on that? All in favor of that change? Very well. Thanks, Abden.
Yep.
10.3 solar array discussion.
So as everyone here probably remembers, a couple of years ago, we purchased a solar array. We had a power purchase agreement for around $180,000. In January, we asked Revision Energy to come out and look at the array. That array is still producing, but we can't monitor it in real time. So there was a page we could go to see what it was producing when the sun was out. There's a component that was intermittent and then finally failed that was responsible for that. It was a cellular communication card. Tried to fix it ourselves. It's not something we're equipped to do. So we had a Revision come out and look at that. They found the cellular card does in fact need to be replaced with a part they can source. And they found some other care and feeding things, some conduit that needs to be adjusted, some labels that have fallen off or worn out. So they came back to us with an estimate of $2,575.20 for parts and labor to do all of that repair. And that's what this report in front of you has. There's a lot of words in this report, but those were the main issues. So just to go over the issues again. The cellular card is our main issue that needs to be replaced. We have some labels on breakers and boxes that have worn out or fallen off that need to be replaced. There's a conduit that's they're worried it will snap if the ground shifts more and it's got some water in it, so they want to clean that up. There was a note in here about some discoloration on some inverters somewhere, which I think is just around runtime. And this estimate could address all of that.
I've got 2790 on my.
Yeah, my number's different than yours.
I probably forgot to add one in there. That's why I'm glad you all are here.
I just want to point out too, that the card, we did try to replace it twice. Based on our previous, the company that we had the purchase power agreement with, gave us the part number to purchase. We did purchase that when our electrician went to exchange the card. That card did not fit the component properly. So we tried to source that on our own and could not source it on our own. So that's when we went to Revision. But this was something Max was working on before he left even. So.
Yeah, so this is to close it out and just so I say it out loud, thank you for the correction. The total is 2790. I didn't add a number in there somewhere.
And this would come out of your contingency line item under select board.
Oh, put it on us.
Yeah,
And they're gonna do it this fiscal year,
oh, yeah.
right away?
Yeah, they have the parts, they have the
Yep.
people. They've been pretty responsive. They answer the phone, they answer emails.
Once we got in their system,
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, it's
it took a
amazing
while
thing.
to set up to get in their system.
Well, the fact that they didn't install this for us.
Yes.
That's what I.
And that was the time, and
Been
that's
my
why they
concern.
came out and they wanted to, it's like if you get in a mechanic, they want to look at everything
wanna
before
look
they
at
can.
it.
Yep.
Makes sense. And they'll be our go-to people for right
Yes,
now for that.
I believe so. We never heard back from the
Bulldog.
Sundog Solar.
Yeah, we tried to go there first and follow that whole thing, so it's not, we just went down the line. This doesn't commit us as far as, to any kind of annual contract or anything like that, so if we have an issue or want to have someone else touch it later, we could. So when I say that, say these could be our go-to people, but this doesn't legally commit us to only using them.
I'll make the motion to approve that work to be done on our solar field for $2,790.
Second.
Any more discussion? All in favor? Opposed? You opposed? Oh, you raised your hand.
I mean, it's operational, it's just the $3,000, we can tell what it's doing. Eh.
I mean, that $2,000 is also, a chunk of that is definitely the cellular power, but that, things like that conduit and the labeling and electrical stuff is code issue and to keep stuff from busting.
Old business 11.1. Road name appointment back cove. road
You have
discussion.
10.4, the sand bids.
Oh, I'm sorry, 10.4, the new. That's right, I'm sorry. Sand bids.
That's what.
Sand bids. So, Will Pratt asked, that we put out our bid for screening this year. And we received 6 responses to our sand screening bid. And the FC Work and Sons Incorporated. So we had a $3.75 per cubic yard up to $11.75 per cubic yard. FC Work out of Jackson, Maine, their price per cubic yard was $3.75. There was another bidder who offered to buy tailings that would have reduced their price. Will would like to keep the tailings. They're going to be doing, as you'll find out in the budget, a lot of reconstruction on Old Route 1. And a couple of other projects that he thinks they will need tailings for. So his recommendation was to award this to FC Work and Sons Incorporated.
Make that motion.
Second.
Discussion?
I absolutely agree with keeping the tailings. They did a great job. Public Works did a great job on Flanders Corner Road. I mean, I could almost get away with not grading it. It's so good. I
Wow.
mean, it's an amazing job.
And I will say that this is cheaper than our prior contract. The $375.
And it's the people that did 220 and.
Yes, they have,
Yeah.
they have screen sand for us in the past.
Okay.
And they are the ones that did the work on, Fintown Road and 220, the culvert, replacement.
They're very fast.
So that's where we're at. Thank you.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion passes.
I raised my hand.
I saw.
Okay.
Now we move on to old business 11.1, road name appointment, discussion for Back Cove Road. All right, Mark, we'll leave that off.
We did have a request, and I'll pass that out. Wasn't sure if you saw the email that came out to you guys today.
Yep.
There's been a request to, basically postpone the meeting for a future date. And so we had met originally with, there were 3 road name changes. One was Christmas Tree Lane. The other one was Back River, which was off from Back Cove as well. And then this was the third one that was moving forward. Due to a technical glitch with the Zoom or whatever it is we're using, people weren't allowed to actually speak on their behalf as far as that road naming. So we basically put that off until today. So the issue that we get is it's the same issue that we've dealt with when multiple different cases. And that is true to 1022 through 1034, I think it is. Back Cove Road, they fell into that same one where, it had to be a road name, and we took care of that, and that's gone through. So I know there's opposition to that, but the issue that we get into is it's part of the land use ordinance. I know there's some differing of opinion on what it is, but nonetheless, it basically states in there that, if you have three structures, dwellings or more, by the fact that it does, it basically becomes a street. Trying to find this section. Anyway, I know that they've asked to table that. I don't have a problem. My only suggestion to the board is, I don't know if the select board is actually the best place to debate this. If there's a decision that the code enforcement officer makes, I believe that falls under the appeals board. So I think rather than fight every disagreement in front of the select board and take up your time, it should go to, through the proper channels. But again, that's up to you as far as how that goes.
I couldn't agree with you more.
So
Yes,
the-
I mean, because anything that the code enforcement officer makes, even with a planner, can go to the Board of Appeals.
Correct. Planning board or code enforcement officer. If there's a decision we make and somebody finds fault with that, then it goes to the appeals board. They make application with the appeals board, and then they make a ruling on whether or not, I made the proper decision or I didn't.
And then it would come back to us for the name itself.
Strictly for the name.
Strictly
That's
for the
what I
name.
was just gonna say.
Right.
strictly for-
The board has the responsibility of doing road names. Again, we ran into it once before with the Christmas Tree Lane where there were no suggestions. So again, it falls under the board to come up with a name. But if there's a suggestion from, the homeowners or the people that are on that road, then it comes up and usually gets forward.
Okay, can I
Is that
speak?
something we need a motion on, or?
Hello, can I speak?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, what we're looking at is nothing has changed in our Back Cove Road Association format. The structures, the road, this place has been in existence for over 100 years. Nothing has changed. The change has been the interpretation of the creation of a road, which is your 9.2.4. We are not creating a new road. We are not creating anything new, except we have 4 structures there. And the last time we all met back in, I think, October, November of maybe 2024, it was just, it was mentioned that the problem was the addresses, which ours is 1228, and the far end was 1232. It was brought to the attention that that could not be because of logistics or whatever you want to classify it. And since then, someone in the town office here recently now agrees that Mr. Francesco Encelia's house at the far end is now 1234. His other unit is 1232. And our partner that is not on, Ben Kinney, is 1230, and we're 1228. All of that coincides with all legal requirements per the land use ordinance, 911, everything. There's opportunity for expansion, which on that point, we cannot no longer expand to 5 units. We have the max. For Ancelia, correct me if I'm wrong, per what you've researched, 4 units is about all we can handle down on that point. So we would love to request a stay. So all of us, board members, Julie, Mark, all of us in-house, go through everything and make sure that we have crossed our Ts and dotted our Is on this, because our area is unique. And it has been, like I said, in existence since the early 1900s through today. Therefore, the land use ordinance and everything that we've researched states that because of that time frame, we are supposed to be allowed to exist under previous existence, not to the regulation as it is today. Subsequent amendments, et cetera, per non-forming communion, Article 4. So we would like to request of the board, Julie and Mark, to put a stay on this so we can discuss in the entirety as to everything, so we all understand everything going forward. Francesco,
Yes,
do you have anything to add, please?
yes, I would like to say also that the ordinance that you're referring to, Mark, am I on? I just see you guys.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, okay. The ordinance you're referring to was accepted or proposed and then accepted by Waldoboro in 2005, subsequently rewritten or finalized in 2020. We have done nothing to that point since 1994, and everything that is built there was built with approval of the town. We pay our permits, we pay our taxes. Nothing has changed. Those structures have been there since 1994. There's been one upgrade, remodeling, what I call with your consent. In fact, when we did the 1232, in order to make sure that it was agreed, approved, and everybody was happy, I invited all the selectmen at the time, or the people, I don't know, actually, I don't know much about town hierarchy, but everybody that was supposed to give us an approval, all this approval came to my house before it was remodeled, and they all agreed that it was a place and a spot that deserved a better home. That's the only thing, and that was way back. The structure was already there. We built in the same dimension of the foundation that were there. Although I had 2+ acres of land, I obey, I give frontage. I took my house back 15-20 feet, and we built right on top of the foundation of the existing. Of course, we made new ones, but nothing has changed. The only thing that happened that one of Mr. Kinney said he was having difficulty sharing one mailbox, and instead of asking us, he came to the town and talked to you guys. It was brand new in the area, and that lit up all kinds of alarm that was not supposed to be there. Nobody has touched the road. Nobody has built anything else. Everything was done according to the approval of the town. The road is exactly as it was. We have actually made it better than it was. So I don't see the reason why we should create this big thing. And again, I understand there is ordinance. I understand we have to follow the law. But when one of my home is, I don't know, 60 feet from the water, was built when 60 feet from the water was okay. Today you have to build 100 feet away. Do you want me, because of the new ordinance, move my house 100 feet away? 44 feet away? No, because it was there, it was approved by the town at the time when the law was what it was. Same thing is now with this road. The structure had been there, have not been changed in 30+ years. So what is the problem? the problem began for us to change everything. Like Sherry and Michelle have brought up, today's UPS, Federal Express, one employee is there today, tomorrow is another place. You won't find our area because Google Map or whatever they use will not find us if you give us a new name. And there's a problem also, I suggest the East Back Cove Road versus Back Cove Road. We are in a, like Sherry said, in 100 years old private road, private. You give us nothing, we want nothing. You don't remove our garbage. We have no fire extinguisher nearby us, which costs a ton of money more. We never complain. So the post office doesn't deliver our mail. It puts it out in a corner just outside our road. What is the change? What is the problem going to be with the post office? The fire department knows very well our area. Okay, I spoke to them not too long ago. They told me, Francesco, don't worry, everything's fine. I had some issues with my insurance because they make us pay a ton of money because we are in front of the water and 8 miles away from the closest fire station. But you know what they did? They told me, no, Francesco, we know your address. You have no problem. And Friendship is our cooperation with us. They show up even before us. So there is no really reason other than somebody reading today ordinance and say, oh, they have to correct it. We are not part of the new ordinance, not because we are better, but because it doesn't apply to us because we built in 1994. And even before the other two homes were there in 1920. Bartlett, was there forever. So
if I can just add here, there's language in the code and also in the 911 emergency manual about grandfathering different areas. And if you take a look at what Francesco sent today, the language in the code is very clear that certain things will cause an area to be grandfathered. And that is the crux of the issue that we have and why we think that this area should be grandfathered, because nothing is new in this area. And the emergency 911 code also has similar language about grandfathering and leaving alone what has already existed if it's working. So we've read through the entire book, we've read through the code, and I think if the selectmen took another look, there would be agreement around this. I think that it's very clear that certain areas are grandfathered.
So this is Sherry. Mark, we've talked. I agree. I am too a rules-bound person. I agree with that. However, and we met with Julie several months ago, the concern that I have that you highlighted is Article 9.92.4, which is the creation of private residential streets / road, which we are not creating anything. Nothing has been changed. The only thing that has taken place in the last year and a half has been a division of Mr. Encelia's property and a property line. That all falls within the code of conforming of, I believe it's 3 acres plus for the land use.
Acres.
Nothing has changed on that. The only thing has changed is now it's designated 4 distinct locations. We understand from this point on, per the ordinance, we can no longer add additional properties. If we try and do what Mr. Mark is saying and follow the 9.2.4, if you read through the entire format, it says you also have to comply with the 9.2.14.9 design standards. If we follow those standards, Now you, the town of Waldoboro, is throwing us into a non-conforming atmosphere, which is, again, against what we're supposed to be doing with the land use ordinance. You know,
And that's because the road leading to the various houses cannot be improved to meet
Correct.
that section of the article.
so in stating, town selectmen, we are requesting, this is a more detailed and extensive communication process than what it appears to be. And we are asking through you folks to put a stay on this road design, name change and everything else until we all can be back in the town of Waldoboro and meet with you and explain our process. And, you know, because if you read through the letter, we have quite a few references that need to be addressed. And if we're going to follow the rule of the ordinances, then it states that those areas that are like ours, that have been in existence prior to the adoption of the land use ordinance, which this falls under, should be allowed to continue. Continue under even subsequent amendments. So any amendments after the 2005 edition of the adoption, any amendments after that, we should fall underneath that. So saying that, I believe, and I believe Francesco and Ben agree that we would really like to sit down face to face and point out, along with Mark, our differences and how we can resolve it to make it a win-win situation for the town, for Mark, and for us. That's
And
what we're asking for.
Yeah, and we know that, Mark, you're not doing this for just because you don't like us. Yeah, I know you're following the rules, yes, your job and everything, but like we all know, there is cases when things can be done in a way that doesn't disrupt people's life, doesn't disrupt the town, you know, and everybody's happy, and then we haven't broke any rules or regulation. So please accept our proposed stay till we can get together and discuss more clearly.
We appreciate your time.
Yes, that's my opinion.
In May.
There's,
I would make a recommendation, I'll make a motion, I guess, that we put a stay on this until everyone gets back into town. Everyone can sit around the round table and discuss it to see what the next step is after that, whether it's appeals board or what have you. I take a little bit of interest in this because I live right down the road right up the road from you folks. After work today, I went and drove down there. Oh, I know the place because I live on the back river, the last lot on the river. So I go by your places on the water all the time.
Uh-huh.
And I was involved when you did that major remodel with the fire department, when we
Yes.
took that house down
Uh-huh.
way back when.
That was fun.
I would agree that that section of Back Cove has been there a very, very long time. It's a private road, private section. So I
Exactly.
think just start looking, use some common sense in this meeting that you have whenever everyone's back in May. When do people come back in the area?
Can I make a
We-
suggestion?
we-
Rather than wait until May to have a conversation, we could do that over the phone and have a phone meeting or a Zoom meeting. I would rather not wait. If it's nothing more than a mere conversation,
Well, more than a conversation, Mark.
Mark, I don't think it's just a regular conversation. You're dealing with people's livelihood and you're dealing with the what ifs for the future, because what is referenced here is not conducive to the Back Cove Road Association. We have been, the code, our Back Cove Association has been in existence since 1963 when they became a Back Cove Road Association. Meaning prior to that, since 1915, Mr. Encelia's house that he has now was actually built as 1232. That was 1915. In 1963, Back Cove Road became an association to include the driveway that we're discussing today. And then there's a lot of things that play into the fact that some people may or may not understand what's taken place. According to the land use ordinance, which you've put us into, states that if things have been in existence prior to the land use ordinance adoption, it should be allowed to continue as is, to include
Can I-
supplement
can I-
amendments. So, like, that's why I feel, and I think Francesco, Michelle, and Ben Kinney all agree that it's great for Zoom and high text information, but it's always good to sit around a table and look face to face and really feel the understanding of everybody in the room, not just over the computer system.
Yes, or phone line. But Mark, just a question. We send you out 5 pages today that talks about exactly what Sherry said, that if we were in existence prior to the new ordinance of adoption of 2005, we should be grandfathered in. What, do you agree with that, or is it a personal thing that you don't agree with it? And I'm not
No,
making.
that's why I was hoping to, that's why I was hoping to be able to sit down with all parties and have a conversation, whether it's over Zoom or telephone, because there are discrepancies in what you wrote. And I would love to
But
be
then
able to
that's why we
explain
want
them.
to sit face to face, because over the phone, I'm looking at you. I have the 5 pages here. I don't remember everything. I have other things. I cannot really, say anything. I cannot tell you, oh, wait a minute, let me look. So
Yeah, I mean, it's just
better.
Zoom, I'm used to using that, and it's nice because I can share documents and stuff like that. That was my idea. But that's,
Well, I've made a
Yeah.
motion. I've made a motion that we put this in the state till everyone gets in town,
Is-
we can sit around and discuss it. And
Is
then,
this the appropriate venue?
No.
no.
So
But
this
that's
should
what
be
they-
before the Board of
They should
Appeals,
have
not
that, they
before
should have
us.
that meeting and then they can,
Right.
or whoever can
So
figure out.
that's what the
Your-
motion should be,
your
or the
Entire,
recommendation be.
your responsibility is
Just name.
just name.
Just names, right?
so just to make everyone, sorry, go ahead, Mike.
No?
Thank you. It seems to me that there are two issues here. One is the name, which is the lesser of the two issues. I think there's probably a legitimate fear on your part that if the name change is accepted due to the ordinance, then that sets a precedent that you're going to have to build a new road, which is physically impossible and would cost a lot of money if it was indeed possible. So those are two very separate and distinct issues.
I don't think it has anything to do with building a new road.
Well, they
never
mentioned
know.
it. They
You never
mentioned
know,
it.
somebody comes up tomorrow, you guys, serve now, tomorrow, now we have Mark before we
I
have.
think there's a lot of misunderstanding about grandfathering going on here. I think that's part of the issue. I think you guys talk about name changes.
That's
If
it. We
they
can get out of
disagree with Mark's interpretation, that has to go before the
Appeals.
appeals board.
So that would be my recommendation.
I'm
that
just-
we
I'm
move
just
this
trying
the
to-
appeals board.
I'm actually trying to help them here
Oh, no. I
because it
understand.
really is. One is not a significant financial or technical issue. The other is a huge financial and technical issue. And I think you got to make that clear what your real aim is.
Excuse me, Mark references one item within the land use ordinance, and that's 9.2.4. And that's the creation of private residential street/roads, okay? That's what it says. And then when you read through that part, it also says must meet the standards of 9.2.14.9 design standards. which brings in a whole different process. So if we're following per Mark, his Article 9, it's stating that we are gonna have to follow 9214.9 design standards. We, like you said, cannot in that area do that. It's just feasibly not existable because of the type of land that we live on. So that's a concern there.
And
And
what
that's
happened-
why I think one of the gentlemen on the board said, bring it to the round table and we can have, I mean, like, you can see this. I have
I
all
think-
kinds of.
Right, I think
Right.
the issue is that you're bringing it now to the select board and our only responsibility per the ordinance is to approve or disapprove a name. It doesn't have anything to do with interpreting the ordinance. So where your conversation and your roundtable discussion needs to happen is at the Board of Appeals. Mark has made an interpretation and a recommendation, and now you disagree with that, and that needs to go to the Board of Appeals, not to the select board. It's not something that we can rule on.
We understand. We
Does that
didn't know-
make sense?
What? Okay.
You're
I'm
just
a little
gonna have
confused.
you're gonna have a different group of people at your roundtable than this group. Because what we do is deal with the name change. But the Board of
Okay.
Appeals will deal with the interpretation of the ordinance.
Okay, but we don't want the name change.
Yeah, but the decision needs to be made about the ordinance before we're involved in the process.
Okay, so there will be no name change until we have this other meeting?
Right,
Right.
that was my motion to
Right,
to
yes.
put a stay, put this on hold until everyone gets back. And then you can meet with
The Board of
the Board of
Appeals.
Appeals.
Okay, and what group of people would we be looking at? Do you have any idea? Because this, again, is all new to all of us, I
Who's
think.
on the board.
Who's on the board?
I can send you all that information. I don't have the list of who the people are on the board, but
Five residents on the Board of Appeals that take care of any of these processes in town.
Okay. Francesco?
That's fine, if that's what we had to do.
Okay,
Sure. I was hoping to be able to talk to Mark, show him all the documentation that we have. And maybe before we go to the appeal, maybe we can agree to something different. Unless Mark is totally,
Yeah, you could,
That's
totally.
fine.
you could meet
Sure.
Mark.
Have a conversation with Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
you could still meet with Mark and have a conversation with Mark and try to get some clarity before that meeting
meeting.
with more people. Sure.
Okay.
Okay, so right now we are, same, nothing's gonna take place.
but we haven't voted on it yet.
Change, yeah.
We haven't voted on it yet, but that's what my motion was.
Okay, I'm
Do
sorry.
you have a second?
I'll second.
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah.
Discussion,
Admin
admin?
had something.
It's, according to this paperwork, it's May 7th, they want to hold off till. They have to have paperwork, what, 2 weeks?
All of
A
us
month
will not
ahead of
be
time for
in
30
town
days.
until
20
after
days
May
prior.
7th.
April 7th.
so here's the deal. The paperwork has to be in. They have to apply for an appeals board hearing within 30 days. That's what it says. It doesn't say that the meeting with the appeals board takes place. We can push that off until the May
Have you
meeting.
made a formal letter saying that this is an issue?
Yes,
So they could put in for the Board of Appeals right now.
yes.
And
We
for the
we can
May- for
accept
the
that
May meeting.
because, yes.
That's
Right.
probably what I would do.
Probably a June meeting so they can meet prior to.
But they can
Oh, they
meet,
can figure
Yeah.
that out.
they
They're
can,
gonna be back May
That's not- that's not
7th,
a-
so.
That's not up to
Not a
us.
select
Not up to
no,
us.
but I'm just trying to figure a schedule that,
Yeah,
We want to help them get that in.
Yeah.
right, that's, I don't think we should be making that decision, period.
You can't.
Right, exactly. I think it should go to Board of Appeals, 100%. I've been through it with Board of Appeals.
Mhm.
So,
Motion
Couple
made
times,
and
couple
seconded.
times.
Any
Yeah.
more discussion? So,
they can file for Board of Appeals now.
Mhm.
So I mean, there's no sense, no need,
well,
for
Mark will follow up with the
there's no
residents.
need for the stay.
Well, we approved a name
We're
change.
talking about a name change.
So we're
They
gonna-
already, you guys, you
We're gonna rescind the name change
Yeah.
until they settle this.
Because there is no name change on my paper here other than.
It was a
It
couple
was-
of meetings ago.
You weren't here.
All in favor?
Well,
Well,
one more thing. Have we made any outside agencies aware of the name change yet?
Not for this one, no.
Not yet.
Okay.
No, I was in the process when Julie informed me that there was a technical glitch. And I held off on that when I did the other two.
Yep.
So,
So John, part of your motion is to put a stay on the already
name.
voted approved name change.
Okay.
Until the residents have the opportunity to go through the appeals process.
Yep.
Okay. I'm right with that.
All in favor? Opposed?
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, everybody.
Thank you.
Have a good night, guys.
Stay
I
warm.
got one more thing, one thing
Yeah.
for you folks. I was down there today, I got a picture of your sign out front. Ben's name's not on there.
Say again?
Ben's name's not on there, so he's not getting his mail, maybe that's why.
No,
No,
not,
he's
because the
now
mail-
getting it, right?
It doesn't get there, but we should put his name.
There's another thing as well, that first house as you drive on the private road on the left. That was my grandfather's. It was built. in
Is that
70.
right?
Oh,
I
really?
grew up there. I grew up there.
Oh, wow.
So you know the area?
Yeah. You can say that. I grew up there.
It's a great area.
I actually owned the house for a few years.
Okay. Hey, you guys, town select board, we appreciate your time and efforts. Julie, thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Problem.
You
Have a
guys
good
stay
night.
warm. Stay warm.
We're getting ready for the snow tomorrow.
I know, I know.
Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Agenda items for the next meeting.
Oh, I think we're gonna have an AI policy.
Wait, let's see.
Oh, yeah.
And a junior firefighter update policy.
We have hazard mitigation plan update.
Yes, that's a Kate thing, right?
Mhm.
The AI policy is something that Kate brought to us. So Kate sent it to Ruben since we figured he probably has the most experience with AI policies. But it is something that we need to start thinking about how we want to use it. There's also something about a communication policy that Warren is considering that's interesting about how we communicate, what our communication should look like. I think it's a little large for us to consider right now, but we might want to send that maybe to the EDC to look at. It's just kind of about how we brand what our communications look like and things like that. So I'll forward that
Yeah,
to
well,
you guys.
When you talk about communication, you're talking about,
Email, Facebook, Instagram, how do we communicate with the
Oh.
public? Like how do we get word out about things? So fun thing.
EDC's been working on that.
They have,
With
but
the-
this is
with-
like more of a policy. I'm gonna have Kate forward it to you because it's something you guys might want to look at and think about, so. But the junior firefighter updated policy you need to approve, and the AI policy is something we probably should have. Sooner rather than later.
Should have a draft ready. by
And
the
you
next
should
meeting.
start talking about things that you want to have on the town warrant. Next meeting.
There's gonna be a lot of things on the town.
No, but
Unique to you, John.
you need
Your
to,
request.
like, what is the select board, like, we have to, address the, school sex offender near the schools ordinance. There's just a couple little housekeeping things you guys might want to address. Up to you. I know the planning board's gonna have recommendations, so just in case there's things out there that you. That's all.
Anything else? We'll be busy doing budget stuff anyway that week too.
Budget.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?